Hey guys, it's Greg from East Coast Dice, and today I'm going to be showing you how to string a 9-diamond triangle top string. This is the most requested tutorial I've had, and I'm finally going to make it for you guys. We'll break it down real nice and slow so you guys can do it on your own. So what you're going to need is a unstrung head, a piece of standard 10-diamond mesh. You can see I've already got the mesh folded down onto the 9-diamond row, so the 9-diamond is the top row, and that way I'll be able to string my 9-diamond triangle top string. And then you're going to need two sidewall strings around 30 or somewhere between 30 and 33 inches in length. I've got a red one and a royal blue one, so you guys can see the difference between the two strings and really see what I'm doing. And then my other trick is a pair of pretty small, medium-sized needle nose pliers, and these are really going to come in handy, and you'll see why once I start stringing it. So some of the advantages of the triangle top string are regular 9-diamond top string only connects some of the mesh holes to the scoop, whereas the triangle top string is going to hold all the mesh holes up very tightly. So we'll get into stringing the top string. Alright guys, so we're going to start stringing the top string. This first part is the easiest part, and it's just like stringing a regular 9-diamond top string, except you only do one loop across. So I've got my one string, I'm going to put it in through the outside of the sidewall hole, and up through the bottom of the mesh, and then back around into the outside of that same sidewall hole, and that's going to create a loop that's going to lock my mesh down to that sidewall and keep it nice and tight. And I'm going to go up, back, under, and through that same first hole mesh. So that step's all done. And then you're going to interlock that next hole mesh up to the first top string hole. So you're going to go in through the back of the head first, and up through the bottom of the mesh and in through that loop, just like a normal top string, and pull it really tightly so it should look like that after you're done. Next you're going to skip a mesh hole and do the same thing on the next top string hole, so in through the back of the scoop, up through the mesh and under the loop, and pull it really tight. So you can see there I've got two done, and you want to keep this middle diamond right here, this one right here, right in the middle of the scoop so that your 9-diamond top string will be even. So make sure to adjust for that in through the back of the scoop, up through the mesh hole, and tighten it down so you can see that mesh hole is pretty much in the middle of the head. And finally the last one. So you're going to skip another mesh hole, in through the back of the scoop, up through the mesh hole, and finally back around and loop it. So you can see here's where we tie on the sidewall. Top string, skip a mesh hole, top string, skip a mesh hole, top string, skip a mesh hole, top string, and then we're going to lock this last diamond into the sidewall by going down through the back of it and in through the outside, or into the inside of that sidewall hole, and then back in the back of that whole mesh, and then back through the inside of that last sidewall, and pull it down really, really tightly so it creates the same loop on the other side, and then just knot it off. So now you've got the most basic part of the triangle top string done. You could theoretically use this as a top string, it wouldn't be quite as strong. So now we're going to do the triangle part, which will hold up these diamonds and mesh that got skipped, and also look really cool. Alright guys, so now we're going to string the triangle portion, and this is the part that you're going to need your needle nose pliers for. They're not absolutely necessary, but they make it much easier, so I suggest having them. So we're going to start with our other sidewall string and put it in through the outside of that same sidewall hole that we already did our normal top string through, and pull it all the way through. So now you've got the string to the front here through that sidewall hole, and you're going to take it and put it up through the front of the scoop, so it looks just like that. And so now you've got the string out to the back of the scoop, and what you want to do is you want to put the string in the gap between the mesh and the actual stick. So see this gap right here? I'll put the pliers through it to make it a little bigger, and we're going to put it right through that gap right there. There, so you can see it went through that gap. Then we're going to spin it back around to the front, and we're going to put it again through the gap between the plastic and the mesh. So you can see that gap right there where I just pulled it down with my finger is where we want to put it through, right there. So it's going to wrap around that first royal blue string I did just like that. So now we're around the back again, and you're going to pull it really tight and put the string back through the back of the scoop so it comes back out the front. So you can see that is the first portion of the triangle top string. You can see it does start to come together. Goes in and back out the scoop, wraps around and back up through the front. Now this is the part where it gets a little bit tricky. You need to get the string in between the mesh. So you can see right here is the mesh connector for the one that's right on the top here. So this is where the those pliers come in handy. You want to make that hole nice and big so you can see there's the hole we're going to be putting string through, right down through the top, just like that. And then we're going to go back up through the bottom. So you want to split this connector right here. So we see we went down right there, and we're going to come up right next to it. So you'll be able to see how the triangle is going to form right there. And then you're going to come back into the front of the scoop, just like that, so you can see the triangle. And then back down between the mesh and the top of the scoop, see that gap right there? You put it right through that gap, and then spin it back around, and again back through the gap between the mesh and the scoop, just like that. So now this is where the needle nose pliers help also, is pulling it tight. So you just want to take them and pull all the slack out of that string and go back through the back of the scoop to complete that loop. So it looks like that. You can see that we've made our first triangle in the triangle top string. So now we're going to do it again for this mesh hole and this mesh hole. So again, show you guys really closely for this one. You see here is that mesh hole that we're going to be holding up, and right above it is that connector where the mesh was folded over. So we want to go down through the one side of that, back up through the other. So down right above it, just like that. And then you can see the other gap right there. See, here's the mesh hole, it's right in the middle, and here's the gap right above it. And you want to come right up through that gap, just like that. So now we've done the triangle part of the connector, back through the front of the scoop, spin it around between the mesh and the scoop, just like that, and spin it back around between the mesh and the scoop again. So it wraps it around like that, and then spin around one more time, back into the plastic, and here's where you want to pull out all that slack. Because there's no point of doing the triangle top string if it's not going to be tight. So there you can see we've got the two triangles done, and now we're going to do the final one and just tie it off. And then once you've done that last triangle, you're going to go loop it back around just like we've been doing. and just go straight out through the inside of the sidewall, back out the hole that you already did the first part of the triangle top on, just like that, to finish it out. And then just tie a quick knot off to finish it. So this is what it should look like when you're all done. With, see the blue part that's original, and then the red top string that goes up and around, down and around, and holds up those other diamonds. Alright guys, so now you know how to string a 9-diamond triangle top string in your head. You can customize it with 2 colors, make it look really cool, keep it nice and tight, and now you can show your friends how to do it. So anyway, like this video if you like it, subscribe for more tutorials and stringing videos, and have a great day.